for staying with Republic TV. You're watching India's #1 English news channel. I'm Shivani Gupta. Let's take a quick check at what's happening in Johannesburg. We cut across as Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi is currently taking part at a photo op opportunity. Remember, this is the 10th edition of the BRICS summit taking place in South Africa, and the Indian Prime Minister will be holding bilateral meets with the likes of the Chinese Premier and also with the Russian president. There you have the top 5 leaders of the big 5 there of the BRICS at a photo op. This is, of course, Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa. South Africa being the host this time of the 10th edition of the BRICS summit. There will, of course, be some key meetings that the Indian Prime Minister will be holding, and amongst a whole host of issues, it will be economic cooperation and furthering of common agendas economically that will be the focus this time. Let's go across to our associate editor Aditya Rajkol joining us over the phone line. Aditya, of course, it will be important to see that what all is discussed when the Indian Prime Minister holds his bilateral meetings with the Russian and the Chinese Premier.
Well, yes, these are initial visuals coming in as the BRICS really begins the initial photo op. And of course, there will be discussions on the things that were agreed on the previous BRICS in China. And these are the visuals coming in from Johannesburg. What we do understand is that in 45 minutes from now, the opening session of the BRICS would be organized where the Johannesburg Declaration of BRICS would be adopted. There will be a signing ceremony amongst all the members. There would be speeches thereafter in the open session between these members as well. And thereafter, the bilaterals would begin, which are of immense significance because 3 important leaders of the world would be meeting Prime Minister Narendra Modi. This would be beginning with, of course, the Turkish President Erdogan, in fact, meeting Indian Prime Minister. Thereafter, of course, the Chinese President Xi Jinping would be meeting the Prime Minister. And finally, the third and the last bilateral would be with Vladimir Putin, the Russian president as well. All these 3 are of significant nature, not just with the economic cooperation on and several other world issues that would be discussed, but safety and security, the cooperation on security as well as terrorism would be something that would be discussed. If you remember, Shivani, during the last BRICS in China, there was significant mention of terrorism and the security cooperation as well. There were terror groups like, Lashkar-e-Toiba, Jaish-e-Mohammed that were mentioned inside the BRICS declaration. So we'll have to wait and watch what is in store in the Johannesburg declaration. But in 45 minutes from now, after the initial photo ops and as the leaders reach the venue, the opening session of the BRICS would begin, and perhaps we could hear the leaders, and thereafter the signing ceremony of the Johannesburg declaration will begin, followed by the bilateral meetings.
Right. Let's not forget that even as this year's summit's aim is really collaboration for inclusive growth and shared prosperity, and in the 4th industrial revolution, there is a specter of trade wars, especially between US and China, emerging, and that will also be a major focus for these emerging countries. Aditya, thanks a lot for the meantime.